If you're new to this podcast, then I need you to know that I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a life coach. I am a hairstylist that's walked through quite a bit of life. And what I've seen through my journey is so many people do not know that it is okay to not be okay. They just don't know how to handle it. And I have been doing quite a bit of research, and there are so many facts and so much good information out there that I've decided we are going to go on this journey together. So today we're going to zoom in on that word, cope. Because coping is something that we all do. Whether we realize it or not, we cope. But sometimes the ways we cope hurt more than they help, especially when our children are watching. So what does coping mean? Coping is how you deal with stress, pain, and difficult emotions. But here's the thing. Not all coping is healthy. Sometimes we don't even realize that the way we're coping or getting through is actually creating more damage in the long run. So I want to talk about the wrong ways we cope, the ways I have coped, and how they can ripple through generations if we don't catch them. And I believe we can do this. We can help that next generation do better than we've done by facing our own pain, naming it, showing these younger people that we're just human. Just because we're grown up doesn't mean we've got all the answers. So let's be real. When life is too much, we reach for something, anything. Usually that will numb it, distract us, or make us feel in control. Some of the most common unhealthy coping skills I've seen, and yes, done, are 1, emotional withdrawal. Okay, what is emotional withdrawal? It is shutting down instead of talking about what's wrong. And this leaves our children and other people feeling confused and alone. So that's unhealthy. The second way that we cope that is not healthy is through anger outbursts. Snapping or yelling or slamming doors. And kids may learn to fear you instead of trust you, because that is just an impulsive decision that we make when we could breathe, think about it, and do something different before we lash out. The third unhealthy way that I think a lot of us have coped or are still coping is over-controlling. Trying to micromanage every little thing to avoid feeling helpless. That can crush a child's confidence. Number 4, substance abuse. Alcohol, drugs, or even food to escape feeling. And that teaches children to avoid pain instead of facing it. Number 5, busyness or distraction. Filling every minute so there's no quiet space to feel or think. No meditating, no really getting our thoughts right for the day. Just moving on through fast as we can to get that one over with. And kids may feel like they're in the way. And the 6th way that I believe, from what I've read and from research, that is not healthy to cope is blaming others. I've personally done that one. I've personally done most of these, if not all. Never looking at our own part in the problem, which teaches children that accountability is optional. As long as you don't get caught, you'll be fine. Or blame somebody else. Why do we feel we need to do that? It's just a habit. And those habits are passing down to the next generation. I can look back on my own life and see where I did these things. Sometimes without even realizing it. But what I would tell myself is, I'm doing the best that I can do. And I was, but some of my best was still hurting my children emotionally. And because I was in so much pain during these times, these different seasons, I did not realize that. So here's the hard truth, guys. Kids don't just learn from what we say, they learn from what we do. If we cope with anger, they learn to explode. They learn to slam cabinet doors or stomp really hard or scream. If we cope by shutting down, they learn to hide their feelings. If we cope by avoiding, then they learn to run from their problems. We are their role models. And later in life, they'll either repeat those patterns or they'll have to work twice as hard to unlearn them. And, life's hard enough. Let's help them see us doing better so they can do better. And the good news here is that we can do better. And the shift doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be intentional. They need just to see us trying. Here are some healthier options that I've been learning and practicing, and they have seemed to help. The first one is pause before reacting. Maybe if you could just give yourself 5 deep breaths before you speak. Don't have to be dramatic about it, just 5 deep breaths before saying whatever you were going to say, and that might help you not be as intense. The next one is that I've learned that's helped me is to name the feeling. Like, say, I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, instead of snapping. Let them see that you're human. This is what you're feeling, but you're going to think before you speak. The next thing that I've learned that's helped me is to talk it out. Even if it's with a friend, a counselor, or journaling. Journaling has been beneficial even to me, and I know it could be to you too, because you get to go back and read that. You may not be as upset as you were at that moment, but talking it out is really helpful. Another one that we can do that's healthier coping is move your body. Walk, stretch. Some people like to dance. Movement releases tension. And I think we all have tension. And then there is model repair. If you do mess up, go back and apologize to your child. They say that is so important. That's a powerful life decision. I handled that wrong and I'm sorry. Because you don't want to confuse them. If you just assume they know that you're sorry, then that's usually something they're going to pass down. Or your daughter may find a man or a mate, a spouse, a boyfriend that handles things that way. You've got to let them know that is not right. And you're big enough to admit it. And then the last way that I choose to cope healthier with my children or grandchildren or even family members that are around is try to build little tiny joy moments like reading together or cooking, laughing. They help regulate emotions for both you and your children or you and your spouse or whomever, grandchildren. Like my grandson, he thinks it's so cool to cook cookies that are already prepackaged. All you do is put them on a sheet, takes 9 minutes, and it just helps everyone's mood. So it's just those little things that sometimes matter the most. And I'm not here to tell you that I have mastered all of this, because I haven't. I still have moments where my old habits peek their ugly head out, but I'm learning to choose differently. I'm learning to remember what has gone well and try to think about that, have the things at my house, or just redirect whatever's going on if it's a bad mood is starting to appear. But when I choose to take a breath instead of slamming a door, or I choose to say I'm sorry, I have overreacted, or when I choose to show my children or my grandchildren that emotions aren't dangerous, I'm not just healing myself, I'm planting seeds for their future. And guys, we have got to do this. We are not far enough along with helping this next generation learn different than what we've done, or learn to do better than we've done. So before we end today, I would like for us to speak some positive affirmations over ourselves. If you need to get a piece of paper and a pen, or if you just want to listen and maybe that you can remember, or it will soak in. And the first one is, I am capable of breaking old patterns. I can do this. You can do this. My children deserve patience and love, not my leftover stress. And the last one is, every small change I make matters. And I promise you they're noticing. They love to see us be human and not the parents that don't do anything wrong. Absolutely we do wrong. It's whether or not we're big enough to admit it. And here's just about 3 journal prompts if you would like to write these down. What is one unhealthy coping habit I've used this week? How did it affect the people around me? And what is one small step I can take towards a healthier response next time? Guys, no one is expecting perfection. We are human. We are human beings. We deserve grace. But we've got to learn to forgive ourselves and to forgive others. And we can't do better unless we learn to speak what we're doing wrong. So I hope you all realize that I genuinely care, and I genuinely know and feel that there is more out there. We just take for granted that everyone knows what that is. If you take nothing else from today, please take this. It's never too late to change the story. Our children, they don't need perfect parents. They just need present ones. Put those tablets down, those phones. Just, how are you doing today? Let's talk about it. They need to see us grow. I mean, even if it's messy. And they need to know that feelings are not dangerous. And there's always hope. And you know that I believe that human behavior needs some work. And it can start right here, right now, with us. Every choice we make to grow, every moment we choose compassion over control, patience over anger, connection over avoidance. It matters, guys. It matters. It builds something better for the next generation. And we have got to help the next generation. You know, we all have a story. And your story may be the light for someone's darkness. Don't hide it. Don't underestimate it. Somebody out there may need your story to have hope, to know that you overcame something, and they can overcome something too. With God's help, I truly believe we can get through anything. I want to thank you for being here with me today. And if this episode spoke to your heart, I would love to hear from you. And I would love to have your feedback. If there's something you would like for me to talk about, then you can email me at copingwithkim@gmail.com. And let's keep learning and growing together. So until next time, be kind to yourself and be kind to somebody else, even if you don't want to. You never know whose life you may be affecting.